Hello there, Alice, live from deep inside the rabbit hole. Hey guys, it is the 17th of May, 2017. That is important to take note. I have to make sure I put the date in because things are getting weird. So I went and got myself a new notebook because I've been keeping notes. I'm sure a lot of you have. But I had so many pages that I'd torn out of this one because it was kind of an old notebook that I didn't trust it, because pages were torn out of weird places where they shouldn't have been, so we're scrapping that notebook. New notebook. So, I wanted to talk to you guys about a few things. So I started watching The Leftovers. Probably a lot of Emmy people watch The Leftovers, have watched it, are watching it, will watch it, guessing. Sorry for the glare on my glasses. It's my weird kaleidoscope light. Nothing I can do about it. Well, I probably could do stuff about it. Not going to. Here. The Leftovers. So, really interesting sort of premise. And just thinking about the whole idea of that in, like, one of our realities, we could have all just disappeared. Like, so I was just thinking that there could be a reality that, say, winter of 2012, I was living in Vancouver at the time. I could have been sitting there with my husband and my daughter and her boyfriend Eddie, who lived with us, and our dogs, or we could have been hiking or at the lake, and I could have just fucking disappeared. And it could be a total phenomenon in that reality. I don't know, it just, something to think about. And I know that there is a user on here who said that that is actually the reality in his case. Bluebeard, I believe it is. I did listen to part of his story. I haven't got through all of it. I can't remember what he said it was called, what they called them in his case. It's just really fascinating to think about. But that's not why I brought it up. Why I brought it up was because of, signs and synchronicities and all those things that we're all really familiar with even before we knew what the Mandela Effect was. I'd been experiencing these things for a lot of my life, but just, like, on fucking steroids, since, like, from 2007 on, as it got closer to now, it's just got, like, more and more and more amped up. So, I just started season 2, and it's really interesting because the episode starts with them waking this guy up, okay? Like, just waking him up in the morning. But it's interesting because, he's a really deep sleeper, and so they're, like, it's a joke, his wife and his kids are, like, piling stuff on his chest, and they put Mandela, like, the biography of Mandela is the first book they put on, and then, like, next is, like, Lenin, and then the other books you don't see, and then, shite, what just happened to my light? Oh, there it is. You don't see any other titles, I believe. I wrote it down here. The only other thing you see is a book called The Road to Terror, Kleenex box, and a clock, which is really interesting because of the whole time thing, and time not existing, and time being not real and irrelevant and all of that stuff. So, I just thought it was really interesting. So that's, like, how it starts out. So, just a few more minutes into the episode, as another character is going down the road, he turns a corner, and it's weird because there's a bride watering her lawn. It's very, like, in her wedding gown. I don't know what that means, but anyway, they pass a business called Logos, which I thought was very interesting because all the logos and everything. There's a guy who asks for a letter to be posted to Sydney, Australia, and you know the whole Australia thing on the map, which is the next thing, a guy selling maps. So I just thought it was interesting with the whole premise of the show, and that in the second season they seem to have finally, at least momentarily in the first episode, brought the Mandela Effect a little bit into it. Or I'm just seeing shit, but I don't think so, because I'm probably not the only one who saw this stuff. God, I'm sorry, my nose just started running the second I started making this. Give me a minute. Pardon me. Oh, I swear, I'm just gonna have this cold for like 6 months. So, anyway, if you are Emmy affected and haven't watched The Leftovers, I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. What else did I want to talk to you guys about? Oh, so I know I've said to you guys, first of all, thank you so much. You know, the Emmy community on YouTube, like, when I made my first video, just, I don't know, like a week or two ago, like, first of all, I didn't expect any response. It was just sort of a vent thing. I didn't expect anything. I certainly didn't expect the massive amount of really positive support that I have gotten from you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. And specifically, to a user named Tinkerbell, every time I try to personally comment back to you, it won't let me do it. I don't know why, so I just wanted to just say I'm trying to just recognize your comments and say thank you and just reach out to you and personally connect to you. It's just not letting me for some reason, so there you have it. Where's my light thing? My dog has it. There we go. There we go. Or not. We don't need light. Who needs light? I'm blind anyway, so that was the other thing. So, you know, my husband has been weird. And this is the thing that I hadn't really mentioned to you guys, because I mean, even, I don't know, I thought maybe in here it would sound kind of crazy, is that it had seemed to me like there were two different of them. Like, one who was my normal, really sweet, really loving, really kind, not perfect, you know, because he can be really, you know, he gets hangry and he can be a dick too, because he's a human husband. But this other one is just like a dick, you know, and like he's the one who has like been around lately. And then all of a sudden, a couple days ago, like, we wake up and it seems like my normal husband is back, but I'm not gonna believe it, you know. Why would I? I'm way too suspicious for that shit. And I don't remember what had happened. It wasn't even anything had happened. I don't know, it was something little. And there's something he's like, has said to me always over the years, like, we're in this together, sweetie. And he said that to me, and I was like, then why aren't you listening to me about the Mandela Effect? And I haven't said anything to him about it, but it just sort of fell out of my mouth, even though I had sort of just decided to just keep my mouth shut about it until he came back to me about it. And he was like, it's not that I don't believe you about the Mandela Effect. He's like, I didn't believe you that the earth was flat. Which, granted, maybe I shouldn't have put that out there so soon. But it was like talking to my normal husband again, you know? And so he'd gone out for a couple hours to do some stuff, and he comes back, and he was like, you're not gonna believe this shit. He's like, there is a fucking Popeye's chicken on Laurel Canyon, and I can't remember what the cross street was now. He's like, that has never been there, right? And it's an area that, because there's somewhere he goes nearby there, like multiple times a week, and I'm under the flight path, so I don't know if you can hear that. Because of my cyclic vomiting syndrome, when I'm really bad in a vomiting episode, sometimes Popeye's biscuits are all I can eat. So he knows the locations near our house. And so for there to be a Popeye's, he was like, what the hell? And so I was like, no, I'm sure that has never been there. And so I called them up to see how long they had been there. And they said they had been there over 10 years. And we are both absolutely 100% totally sure, driven by there 1,000 times, I've never been there before. So, but the point is when he came home, he was like, that is a fucking Mandela Effect. Yay! So, you know, I might show on my channel, maybe not yet. I don't know. We'll see. Being stingy. So that's kind of cool. And on the flip side of that, this is really interesting. So, obviously I know how weird people react to it, but I hadn't experienced the total shutdown of someone completely face to face until yesterday. So I had a friend come into town. Was only here for one day. Came in yesterday afternoon. Was leaving early this morning. Stayed here last night. We were hanging out yesterday. I was lucky enough to be well enough to be able to hang out, and I had already made the decision, not going to bring this up, no way, unless for some reason it comes up or he brings it up. And it came up, and I still wasn't, going to say anything further on it. And he was like, I keep hearing about that. What is the Mandela Effect? And I was like, do you want to know? And he was like, totally. I'm like, are you sure? Because it's kind of crazy. Because he's the kind of guy who thinks, like, even, like, I don't know, even, like, really tame shit is like, whoa! So, I wasn't sure if this would be too much for him or not, and it was. So I told him, just the basic premise, okay. And he's a really big sci-fi nerd, big Star Wars guy, so the whole, Luke, I am your father thing, that had his attention. But he was like, he was doing the, okay, I don't know. Like it was doing the questioning. So we're having the conversation, and we're discussing some of the examples and things that he would know about. And I was showing him on the computer. We were on my husband's laptop out in the backyard. You couldn't really hear, and so I said, let's go inside on my TV, so you can see it better. And so we come in, I pull it up on YouTube on the TV, and we're a few minutes into the video, and I had paused it for a second just to get up for like 2 seconds for something to go into the kitchen. I mean, I'm literally up for 2 seconds, and he's like, I gotta go take a nap. And he like bolts out of here and is gone for like 5 hours. And it, I mean, it's not like he was here for a week or something. He was here for 1 day. And he spent the rest of that hid in my bedroom, you know? He came back out for a couple hours last night, but he, like, even when he came back in here, like, I mean, he totally had the, oh my God, please do not fucking bring that up vibe, you know? So, obviously I didn't, but it was fascinating, him questioning and doubting himself, and then the being overwhelmed, and then just having to run away. It was very interesting. And my other friend, who had seemed so on board to research it, and haven't heard from him. It's weird. It's fucking fascinating. Fascinates the mind, it does. So, yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. I don't know. I wanted to also ask. I wanted to ask about dreams, because I've had. I've always been a dreamer. I've always been one to dream. I've always had fairly visual dreams, and I've had, you know, a lot of prophetic dreams in my life. I've had quite a few dreams lucid dreams, thank you, that's the word I was looking for. But since the Emmy got like really it's like I don't really dream, which is weird. And if I do, it is like a super crazy like end of the world dream, which I've had those for years off and on, since like 1992. I've had those. 92, I think, was when I had the first one. It's either one of those, or it's like a premonition dream. But those are the only dreams that I have anymore. I don't really have, like, dreams. And it's not like, oh, you don't remember your dream. No. It's like, and I have really weird sleep cycles anyway, because of, I think I told you guys this probably, dysautonomia, which is basically malfunction of the autonomic nervous system, which is runs your sleep cycles. So my sleep cycles just can do whatever the fuck they like. Tomorrow they could be like, you know what, we're gonna actually sleep 4 a.m. to 7 a.m. and 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. and bitch, you're gonna like it. So yeah, and you're just gonna have to be okay with that. My roommates just got home. That's what all that noise was. So I have weird stuff with sleep anyway, but it usually has nothing to do with dreaming at all. At all. So, just wondering if anyone else has experienced a change in dreams or how they sleep. At least since it's intensified. I mean, obviously it continues to intensify. You can all agree on that bit. I know I had more I want to say, and what are my notes? Notes! This is why notes are so important when you have a broken brain. Sleep, no dreams, Armageddon. That's what it says. Not with the song, though. No. Oh! This was a weird thing. But it's in my phone, which is right there, so I can't read it to you, so I'll have to do that tomorrow, which ties in with the other part of the story that I wanted to tell you guys. So we'll do that tomorrow, because that's like a whole kind of thing. Okay, we'll do, you know what? We'll do a whole big old story time tomorrow. Because what do we have to do tomorrow? I don't have anything going. Poppy, what do you have tomorrow? Poppy, do you have plans tomorrow? No? No. Poppy's free, so, thank you so much for all the love and support. I'm finding this, much easier to bear. Though, the things disappearing and moving on their own in front of me, I don't know if I'm going to get used to that. Is anyone else experiencing that? Because that cannot be just me, because that cannot be just me. Anyone else having stuff moving? It's not related to ghost activity either, because that's a whole separate thing. That'll be on tomorrow's video. Tune in tomorrow to discuss my ghosty stuff. Yeah, it's not a ghost related thing, but we can talk about that too. But like the other day, I had a vitamin right here that I was looking at it, and I watched it move about 3 or 4 inches, and then it disappeared. But at this point, like, if we can shift through dimensions, realities, then what the hell is it for a vitamin to fucking disappear, right? Ain't no thing. That's the way I see it. And I know what I saw, so I learned a long time ago to trust what I see, and to trust my gut. And I hope you all do the same, because we are not fucking crazy. We are a clever, clever bunch, from what I can tell. A very clever bunch. And I don't think it is, well, I don't believe in coincidence or mistakes or anything, but we haven't had difficult lives for no reason, you know? We've all had trying lives, it seems, and I believe there's a reason for that, you know? I've always said that I've grown the most during the hardest points in my life, those moments that I wanted to give up and I wanted to die, those are what helped make me who I am. They fucking sucked. And I really, at the moment, would have liked to fucking hit the eject button, but, you know, and trust me, I thought about it many times in my life. I won't sit here and lie and say that I'm a person who didn't think about suicide throughout my life. But I think we all went through these things for a reason. And I don't think that it's just to be strong people. I think we all might get to find out soon what it's really about. That's my guess. I don't know. But I've been trying to really do a lot of research, and when I'm not having a banging fucking migraine, because I'm in a migraine cycle, which means I'm spending about 8 to 10 hours a day in a fucking wicked migraine. When I'm not in a migraine, I'm trying to do research. And thank God for you guys, because if I had to rely on just like reading anymore, I couldn't do it. I used to read a book a day, and then my brain and my eyes went to shit, and then YouTube, and it was like, oh, yay, info, woo, they came in and didn't hurt. Sorry. I'm trying to do research, and what I can see is that this is a community of really intelligent, really beautiful, really gifted people, and I thank you for welcoming me in. So, that's all. I just wanted to say that before I checked myself out of the video and into the God, see, I wanted to say something witty right there, and it slipped right out. It went from right there, and it went whoop, and it dribbled, and then Poppy licked it up. Did you steal my wisdom, Poppers? Poppy, you want to come say hi? You want to say hi to Poppy? She's just the best part, isn't she? Can you say hi, Poppy? It's a popper, girls. It's a puppy. She's like the dog version of Grumpy Cat, I'm told. Okay. Alright. I'm going to quit rambling on now. And I'm going to chat at you guys tomorrow as long as I'm not too sick. And as long as I don't have a wicked-ass fucking migraine. I hope you guys all have a good night. And I will be watching you all. And even if I don't comment, because I'm on my Roku on my TV, so I can't always do that. It means I gotta get on my phone, and sometimes I'm just a fucking lazy twat, and I just can't do it, and so I mean to, I just don't always do it, so I'm shitty at being supportive. I'm trying to do better at that, so I try better. I do better. Forgives. Thanks for everything, you guys. I love you. From deep, deep inside the rabbit hole, Alice saying good nights.